Hey folks, I'm Doc. It's my buddy PT, and together we are the Redneck Sages. Today we want to talk about the Rio Olympic Games and some of the things going on down there. Um, One of our main concerns is about the amount of water pollution that the athletes and the visitors to Rio de Janeiro are having to face, and some of the consequences, some of the bad things that may occur. So I'm going to let PT have the floor and start it out. PT, what do you think?
All right, everybody, good to talk to you again. The Olympics started, I guess the opening ceremonies were Friday evening, and they're going on for, was it 17 days?
17
I think
days.
it's 17 days. Anyway, this is the Summer Olympics, so there's a lot of water sports going on. And one of the tragedies of what's happening down there, besides not all the facilities even being ready, is all the sewage and trash and hospital waste, and Lord only knows what all's in the water, directly where a lot of the athletes are going to have to be competing. That's where they're holding their contest, is in this sewage water.
Right.
Basically, that's what it is.
Yes, just wastewater that's pouring out of Rio from hospitals, from homes. There's organizations that test this water, and some of them have gave it the thumbs up that it's okay.
The World Health Organization, World Health Organization tested the water. They said it's okay, no problem, don't worry about it.
But one of the tragedies, and PT expound on it about what the WHO has done, is that they have only tested for bacteria. They hadn't tested for other carcinogens, hospital waste, or they haven't even tested for viruses.
I guess what I've read anyway is the main reason they don't is because the bacteria test is basically a cheap test. Doesn't cost them a lot of money. And to test for viruses, it's pretty expensive.
Yes.
And bacteria is bad enough. In fact, they found a super bacteria down there in the water and on the beaches that antibiotics can't touch.
Right. And well, the worst thing about a lot of the bacteria and the virus is that the athletes are healthy people. They're not like common everyday folks who who are sickly compared to the athletes.
And children.
And children.
Little kids.
Yeah, the water and the beaches are more dangerous for the common everyday folks who are not in the best of health. I mean, in Rio, there's supposed to be, what, 500,000 people to visit over the time?
Roughly 500,000.
And most of the people are going down there not knowing that they could be or will be exposed to these bacteria, viruses, and this waste that is just spewing into the ocean there. Both I and PT believe that there should be more notice, should be more talk about it, and that the Brazilian officials should have done what they said back in 2009. They guaranteed the Olympic Committee, the one that chooses what venue to go to next, that they would have the water pollution under control.
They'd have it all cleaned up. They said it'd be pristine, nothing to worry about it. It's actually worse now in some areas. It's actually worse now, particularly with the super bacteria, compared to when it was in 2009.
I mean, and if we're not going to Rio, I don't think I'd even go just to be on those famous beaches with the rocks out in the water. I have a compromised immune system, and I could go down there just sitting on the beach and end up with uncurable bacterial or viral infection.
That's an excellent point. All this stuff is not just in the water, but that water, rising tide goes down, all that stuff is in the sand. Now you got your family out here playing in the sand thinking they're having a great time. They can get infected with bad bacteria, bad viruses, and who knows what.
Yeah, and I think it's a crying shame that the first Olympics in the Southern Hemisphere is occurring in Rio, and that this is a city of 12 million and growing. And there's a lot of waste goes directly into the waterways, untreated in any form or fashion.
Absolutely. You can read in the news today, they only treat half their waterways. That's it. Only half.
And I think so far the visitors and the athletes are lucky that they haven't had any large storms to flush more of this untreated waste right out there in the bay, right into these venues where they kayak, where they scull, and other water events are going on. PT just informed me this morning that it's not only the venues and the beaches of Rio and the venues where they're having the outdoor water sports, but actually the water where the swimmers and the divers in the facilities is not up to par.
Maybe, yeah, that's exactly right. It's not near as polluted. Of course, the sewage water that's out there in the lagoons and out in the ocean, but still, there's a very good possibility that you have some bad bacteria and viruses even in that.
And see, I know PT done some research, and I will steal one of his notes here.
Hey, I spent a lot of time making those notes.
I know you did, Redneck, but
Right.
you know.
Well, at least you gave me credit.
I
for
gave
it.
you credit for it.
I guess I'll let him slide this time.
But on one of where PT was doing some research was about that that the water issues are 1.7 million times worse than what would cause a red flag anywhere in the United States or Europe. And our athletes and athletes from around the world are in this water. Visitors are on these beaches when the bacterial and the viral load is 1.7 million times what would cause a red flag here in the U.S. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I've never been to the Olympics. I'll probably never go to the Olympics. I think it's basically, I don't know what the word is. Anyway, the Olympics, once upon a time, were supposed to be for amateur athletes. Now they're all pros.
Right.
And they don't even try to hide the fact anymore. They just acknowledge all these people are professional athletes.
Right.
But anyway, have you ever been to the Olympics?
No,
Think you'll ever go to the Olympics?
No, sir, never will.
It takes a heck of a lot of money to go to the Olympics. Can you imagine trying to book a hotel in Rio, 5 years ago? Or
Yes.
What was that, 2009 when they announced?
Yes.
People started booking hotels back then, getting ready, plans made to be at the Olympics. Now, it takes a lot of money, especially if you're going to take your whole family down there. You're going to spend 2 weeks plus down there.
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
And
this is what you get for your money.
Yeah.
Polluted water that was guaranteed it would be fixed. There'd be no problems with the water.
Well, personally, I think that some heads need to roll in Brazil and in the Olympic committees that choose these cities, that overlook these venues to make sure that they're healthy and meet standards. I think some heads should roll.
I don't know how many athletes it was, but a number of athletes just said, "I'm not going."
They refuse because of the
Zika
water
virus and this water
and
pollution.
Zika. Yeah, I mean, and here we go. I watch NBC News in the morning time to get my daily dose of infotainment. I really can't call it news. And very rarely do they even just Matt Lauer.
You need to be watching MSN, but you need to be watching Morning Joe instead of Matt Lauer.
It'd just be another group of folks lying to me, or entertaining me. But infotaining, yes. But folks, if a couple rednecks here in Arkansas feel like that this is a crime, I personally feel like it's a crime, and that some heads should roll somewhere inside the upper echelons of the Olympic selecting committees and the rest. A few years ago, they got in trouble for taking bribes from certain cities or companies to bring the game to that particular city. I think some heads should roll that these guys should also make sure that these venues are safe, not only for the athletes but for the visitors.
And for the people that live there. There's people that live there, poor people, don't have any money, are living in that. And they've been living in that for decades.
Decades.
It's terrible, bad enough that for 2 weeks, basically, out of 4 years, I mean, people spend their lives preparing to go to these games and
Yes.
see if they can win a medal and bring back home to their country. They spend their lives doing it. But there's people that live there in these squalid conditions, super bacteria, terrible viruses, medical waste. That's where these people are living.
And these poor people, of course, they have no voice or very little voice in their governments and stuff. And I personally believe that the only way that things can get better is if people like you and I and PT, if we speak up. It's the only way things are going to change. As long as we keep our mouths shut about things like this, it's not going to change. And I suggest that if you feel like that that this is improper, at the least, criminal at the most, that maybe you should call your state representative, your congressman, your senator. You should speak up. What if a few years from now your child is in such a situation, in a place that they've trained their whole life, and you've dedicated all kinds of money to ensure they had the best coaches and the best opportunity to go and represent the U.S., and they come down with something that's incurable or may end their athletic career, or if you're just a visitor at a place like that and you come back sick, irreparably sick.
Speaking of Matt Lauer for just a minute, NBC News, I didn't watch the opening ceremonies, but the first 30 minutes of the opening ceremonies, first of all, people watching think it's going to be live, right? You're going to watch the live opening ceremonies of the Olympics. No, it's an hour delay, so you can catch more people across the country during prime time. And there was 5 commercial breaks during the first 30 minutes.
Wow.
Of the show.
Wow.
You caught, how many minutes did you actually watch of the opening ceremonies, the first 30 minutes? There was 8 total commercial breaks during the first 65 minutes, including those first 5. So there's 3 more in an hour and 5 minutes. 8 commercial breaks during the first hour of the show.
And this is supposed to be about athletes from around the world coming together, and
it's all about commercials.
It's all about selling you something.
Making that money.
Money, 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 money.
I wish I had some.
I agree. But folks, honestly, if you think that there's something wrong about this, speak up, speak out. You know, whether it's like PT was saying, the commercialization of the Olympic Games, or the conditions that the athletes and the visitors are having to put up with down there in Rio de Janeiro, speak up. Because if there's something wrong and you don't speak out about it, it's not going to change.
Not going to change.
It's not going to change.
Stay the same or get worse.
Yes, sir. Folks, thank you for tuning in again.
All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video, and look forward to speaking with you guys again.
Right. Tell everybody. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. And we appreciate you sharing this with all your friends. Thank you. RedneckSages DOC, over and out.
PT. See y'all later.